Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your man, Legacy the Prince.
It's your boy DJ Before You Are.
It's the Fresh Leftovers Radio Show, man.
A little burpage.
You all right?
Yeah, a little burp.
Sound like you got a little indigestion there, brother.
No. I just came, you know.
I got you, man. Listen, we got a special guest in the building kicking it with us all the way from Fayetteville, North Carolina. We got Lee Vasi in the building.
Hey.
What up, Vietnam's
What's up?
very own. Hey. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Man, you enjoying yourself so far?
I am, yeah.
We a little different. You know
look, y'all a vibe, though. Y'all a vibe.
It's a vibe. Yeah, it's that baby Justin Bieber in the beginning. She was in here going crazy.
She's like, that's my son.
My joint. Took me back.
Yo, man, so this is your first time here rocking with us on the Fresh Leftovers Radio Show. Who is Lee Vasi? Talk to the people.
Who am I?
Yeah.
Child, I am a child of God. I'm a singer-songwriter.
Go ahead.
I'm so sorry. Everybody keeps trying to direct something. I'm like, go that way.
It's all good. But yeah, I'm a singer-songwriter. I am a sister, soon to be auntie. I'm really excited about that.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just a little bit.
So you get the, get the child and then give them back.
Right?
You know no, I can't wait. Like, I've already started buying toys and like all kind of stuff.
And then take them back home.
Right.
This is for you.
Right.
Take it over there. That's good. That's good.
Crazy.
Singer-songwriter. So how long have you been in the music world? Because first of all, your music is amazing.
Thank you.
It's absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much.
How long you been in the music game?
So I've been in entertainment since I was 9 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but music, probably since I was like 16. When I was 16, it became my focus. And I started out doing theater productions in Fayetteville, where I'm from.
Oh, wow.
I used to do theater with my siblings.
Okay.
And my mom is from New York, so she was like always really big on like exposing us to Broadway shows and just, all the opportunities that were in that kind of space. But I want to be clear, she was not a stage mom. Like my mom was just,
I just want to make
not
sure.
at all. Like my mom was both my parents were very supportive, but never like stage parents.
Gotcha. What is a stage parent? What's that?
Like somebody who kind of like uses their child to like live out their dreams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was not my parents, but they were super supportive. But anyway, so I did theater growing up with my siblings. And one day when I was like 8, my brother found an open call audition for The Lion King on Broadway. And so open call is for like people who don't have like managers, agents. I was a kid, right? Like really just a kid. And it was my hobby.
How old were you then?
I was 8.
Dang.
Yeah. And so my brother pulled up the open call, like, cause he was looking for auditions for himself.
Okay.
And it came up and the audition was in Atlanta, actually. So that was my first time I came to Atlanta, was for that audition. And then I ended up booking it.
Cool.
To my mom's surprise, because she was like, oh yeah, we'll just do a shopping trip, we'll go to Atlanta, you have your little audition.
Oh, wow.
I didn't think I was gonna get it, but I got it. And so then we moved to New York, and like I said, my mom's from New York, so we lived with her family while I was there, and that's kind of what set me on my lifelong trajectory in the entertainment space.
What part of the what character did you play?
I was young Nala. Yeah.
Oh man, that's what's up.
Pinja.
Yes.
Pinja again.
Yes.
She on the ground.
He was on the ground.
She pinned.
Oh yeah, my fault.
Right.
Right. Dang, bro.
You're right. Now it was that
he didn't
girl.
walk- he didn't
Okay.
I had another joke, but it was just.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say stop.
When I was a young boy. That's the part if I was in it, bro, I want to do the Warhard song. Yeah.
That's it. That's the only thing you want to do.
Yeah, I just want to do the Warhard song.
And go home.
Yeah.
Once you got booked for that, like how long did you go along? Like how long was that journey?
So I auditioned in the summer of whatever year that was, and then it was probably like 3 rounds of callbacks.
Okay.
And we would come back to Atlanta for the callbacks.
Okay.
Because it was like the nationwide like open casting call, right? And so they called in November. So like I said, it was like summer, the audition. They called in November that I booked it. I moved to New York in January, had a month of rehearsal, and then my debut at the end of February.
What theater?
So it was at the Minskoff Theater.
Jeez.
In Times Square. Yeah. So I did that for a year and a half. And
dang.
Yeah. And so
you were still a child, right?
I was a kid. Yeah, I was a kid.
You weren't in school. You just
No,
school.
I was in school. Of course I was in school. No, I actually went to a private Christian school.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and so they would work with my schedule and stuff. But yeah, I was in school and my parents were very like strict about like I had to maintain all A's, like they were not playing with school. Like I very much was like kept in my place. You know what I'm saying? But then would go to work like I was a professional kid. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of interesting to balance, like being with kids during the day and then adults
in the night.
at night. But yeah, it was definitely a life-changing, eye-opening experience that set me on the path that ultimately led me to where I am today. And there's a lot in between.
Yeah, I would have been talking mad junk to my teachers. Like, do you know who I am?
I'm Nala.
Young Nala. Do you know who this is? You know who you putting on timeout?
Not timeout. Come on.
I got a question. Did you get paid?
Yeah.
Did you get an allowance from the pay?
So not at first.
That's crazy.
No, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like I said, my parents were not stage parents. They were not trying to like live off of my paychecks. So not at first. And then, so probably for the first 6 months, I didn't see any of it. And then I got to the point where I negotiated with my mom. I was like, hey mom, like, can I just have like something?
Get 1,000,
like,
please.
oh, no, definitely I didn't get that. But I negotiated. My mom also negotiated with me. So I got to a point where I was able to get just like a couple of dollars a week from it. And I like learned to save and like was able to buy some, you know, some nice things for myself. But I really appreciate the way my parents kind of postured that and kept me a kid.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
What's a couple of dollars?
Maybe getting in her pockets, bro.
Bruh.
No, as a child. I just want to know as a child.
Dang,
like,
bro. Yeah,
I
all
mean,
up in the pockets, man.
I know I ain't mean like that. Come on, man. I ain't trying to be. I'm just like you negotiating with mom. Mom like, yeah, I'm gonna give you $20. That's what it was. Yeah, it's okay. Don't ignore
I
me.
can neither confirm nor deny.
Okay.
But it was not anything ridiculous for a child my age. So it definitely taught me like how to budget and
that's good.
save for things. Yeah. But I like I said, I appreciate that most of it I did not touch it. I don't even like honestly know to this day like the lump sum of it because it was just kind of dispersed throughout different times. But
I'm about to say mama still got it.
So what's
no.
so what is one of your best memories of that time?
Best memories.
I mean, besides, you know, being on Broadway doing that, I know that's a whole experience by itself.
Right.
What is
Yeah.
one moment that stood out to you the most in that whole season?
Michael Jackson came to the show.
Stop playing.
What?
Yeah.
Stop.
You ain't mean no Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
You mean like
You talking about
Thriller?
Yeah, like the
Talking about Billy Jean?
there's photo evidence. Yeah.
Man in the Mirror?
Yeah, that one.
What? That's cool.
The King of Pop. No.
What did you say? what did you say?
No.
Repeat it.
He said he invite you to Neverland?
Why?
Bro, what is wrong with you,
Man,
dog?
the disrespect,
God,
bro.
dang.
That's one of my
So what was that like? Did you feel pressure in like with the performance? Like, yo, we gotta.
Because I know they
'Cause
said
I couldn't
MJ was
imagine.
there.
Well, I think every day is kind of for me. It got to a point where it was just like showing up to work, like for real, right? So it gets to your muscle memory so much that it's like, you know, you're just doing the show, right? But obviously there's like extra kind of excitement because we did get to take a photo with him after, and he was really nice. And so that's probably a highlight.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So you went to a private Christian school.
Yeah.
So you had Christian heritage or Christian what's the word I'm looking for? You had a Christian background
Background.
prior to that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So we would go to church as a family. And we I remember like trying out different churches, right? And my mom gave me like a little baby Bible that just became like my favorite book. And I would just read it over and over and over again. I remember it was a little red Bible and it had the little cartoon characters in it.
Oh, okay.
And so I, from an early age, like really just loved hearing about God. And so then when I was at that Christian school, when I did The Lion King is really when I was exposed to like scripture and learning scripture and memorizing it for tests, you know, and really incorporating it into my everyday life. And then, but that was only while I was in The Lion King. And then when my contract ended, I moved back to North Carolina.
I left Jesus in New York.
And I went to public school.
I knew it.
Wow.
I called it.
Jesus?
Man, forget that, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. So you moved back to North Carolina now, and did your walk get a little bit different?
So I would say yes, because I was a kid and I just like did what my parents kind of exposed me to, right?
Gotcha.
And because I was not in Christian school, literally learning scripture every day, it definitely shifted. But we started going to an AME Zion church when I was like 12, and I loved it. Like I loved it so much. And that's the church I ended up doing the altar call at. I got saved at that church when I was 14.
Oh, okay.
And really throughout school, like I really was chilling. Like I really did not get involved in anything crazy. Like I was very focused. Like I was still doing auditions and stuff back and forth to New York. By the time I was 16, I decided to focus on music. So I was back and forth to Atlanta. Yeah, over the years, like it's always been kind of like a central piece that like I would remember, right? But it wasn't up until probably like the last 3 years that it was like a very intentional decision that I made for my life to like walk according to the word and be very studious of the word. And that was a journey in itself getting to that point. But
tell me about it.
Oh yeah, we're gonna dive into it.
Yeah.
Definitely want to dive into that. That, man.
So going back to music, like what was that like? Is it mom and them are still like basically manage you in that perspective?
They never managed me, and they never wanted to manage me. Like, and I, again, like my parents were super supportive, but always were like, we are mom and dad. We are going to leave your career to experts, and we are here to support you and guide you and keep you safe. Right. So neither of them were my managers, but they were always there. So as I started doing music specifically and realizing that I wanted to, because I started writing songs at 10 backstage at the Lion King, actually.
Okay.
I asked for a guitar on my 10th birthday because I was listening to a lot of Neo at the time. And I learned that Neo wrote his own songs, right? And wrote for other artists. And I was like, my goodness, like I need to learn how to write songs. So that was really kind of what piqued my interest at that point. And I kept going with that. Like especially like early high school, like I would find myself being really lonely a lot because like I said, I was just so focused on like just developing as an entertainer and trying to figure out what the next kind of opportunity would be. So I would spend a lot of time by myself, just like writing songs in my room. By the time I was 16, I got like a mic. I don't even remember what kind of mic it was, and like downloaded a random like production software like from the internet because I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna like make everybody believe that I can actually write songs, right? Because everybody believed I could sing and act, but nobody knew I like actually could write. So I like produced my first like kind of demo, and I recorded it in my closet. At home when I was like 15, and I played it and they were like, oh, you can actually write songs. Right. So that's when they started to believe, okay, this music is something that we can support. Right. So that's when I started coming down to Atlanta. My parents were always here with me. If it wasn't my mom, it was my dad. So that kind of set me on my path, and I was doing secular, like bilingual, like pop R&B was the vibe. And
get over there. Yeah.
And at the time, like I still wanted to go see what else was forming in New York, because that was kind of my introduction to what I felt like was myself, like at the time, like the true like realization of like who God had like created me to be, right? And so I wanted to go to college in New York, so I did. And I went to a music program at NYU. Okay. And it was very holistic, learned like music business, journalism, like production, music theory, like all kinds of really, really dope stuff. Because I always knew that I wanted autonomy within it. I never wanted to just like, have everybody just telling me what to do all the time. And
that's good.
So I went to NYU, and I'm sorry. I'm like, do y'all have questions?
No, go ahead. No, first I do have a question. You kept saying you was coming to Atlanta, but like, where were you going in Atlanta? Like,
so I was going to a studio at the time called The Basement, and and it was I was working with Ronnie Garrett and Peanut at the time. They worked a lot with like legends, like
Ronnie
R&B
Garrett
legends.
name is familiar to me.
Yeah. So that's where that's where I was kind of centralized when I would come down here.
So was it family you had down here as well or something? Because you just traveling a lot, so you would just come to the studio.
So I would like be in the middle of like a school week, and we would drive down at night. I would do my sessions or what have you, or an audition, and right after I was done, we would drive right back. So I was like,
your parents were very supportive.
Oh man, them parents.
No, we spent a lot of time on highways, that's
so pivotal when your parents believe in you that much. It pushes you even further.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
she had to show that she was serious though.
And I had to keep my grades up. I was still in public school this whole time. Like I was like not like I was never homeschooled at any point. And I always had really, really good grades. Like I was very like I didn't have an option. Like my parents didn't play that, right? And I'm the youngest of 3, and my siblings are also very like very, very smart. And so it was like, all right, like we can do this, but you're not gonna fall behind on your grades.
Facts. All right, look, we're gonna run off into a break. We got more with Miss Lee when we come back. Lee Vasi. So y'all keep it locked. It's a Fresh Leftovers radio show. Woo-wee. Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your man, Legacy the Prince.
Your boy DJ Before You Are.
Yes, sir. It's the Fresh Leftovers radio show. You know the vibes. FlowRadioShow.com. You know the vibes. We live and certified, man. We still kicking in here with Lee Vasi.
Hey.
She in the building, man. She in the building. The superstar.
Yeah, she a superstar for
Young
real.
Nala.
I know what I'm saying. You played the Lion King, boy.
The young superstar, man. So listen, I was reading in your bio, you were speaking about being on American Idol. How did that happen?
That was my question.
So I was at NYU at the time. And at first, producers from America's Got Talent reached out to me. And
did I say the wrong show?
No. American,
oh, okay. I'm like, did I say the wrong show?
No, you're right. No, you didn't hear what you said.
My fault.
So they had the same producers, the show, or at the time they did. I don't know anymore, Joe. But so I was in the process for America's Got Talent, and then I was also in my personal life in the middle of
talk to us
a psychologically abusive relationship.
Really?
That ultimately was a large part of why I left NYU. And I was just kind of like, I want to start over. Like, I can't, right? I'm done, right? And so then I was in the middle of a semester off because I was going to transfer. And during my semester off, American Idol, one of the producers who had reached out to me about America's Got Talent, reached out to me about American Idol. And I wasn't going to do it because I was really in a really bad mental space. I had just been diagnosed with like PTSD, like adult psychological abuse disorder, like all
because
kinds
of the relationship.
Yeah. And I was really I was living in a lot of fear at the time, like horrible nightmares. Just really needed to like get myself like back center. And I wasn't gonna do it, and my parents, shout out my parents,
Mama,
were like, you know, you have to do it. Like they're reaching out to you, like you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like this is a thing that you have to kind of just like pray about it and go, right?
Did your parents know you were going through that?
Yeah. Well, ultimately, after I got out of it,
okay.
And they knew, you know what I'm saying? Like parents always know, like you don't have
Something's
no business
off.
being right.
Daddy knew.
He didn't know the details of it, like at the time.
That was probably the best.
Right, exactly. Like, you know, and I was like, man, like I know what's best for me, you know?
Oh,
like,
you got that
me, you know? And so they pushed me to do American Idol, or supported me through the process. And then I ended up making it to Hollywood Week, and did I did it through up to the top 48 of American Idol. So that was that whirlwind of an experience. I was 20. I was 20 when I did American Idol.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Wow. How old are you?
I'm 26.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That was a couple years ago.
I know, right? That's what I was like.
So in this whole process, right? Because I know you said you was you grew up with a real strong, Christian school. Then you went to New York, wild out. And then
correct.
No, I'm from New York.
No,
I know what's
he's
going
not
on.
wrong.
I'm
Yeah,
dead serious.
yeah.
I know the facts. I know
Right.
what's up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you went to New York, wild out. How did the tide started turning back? Where you said about 3 years ago you kind of talk about that time between wilding out and getting to a guy. I think I'm gonna hang it up now.
Yeah.
What was that like?
So after I did American Idol, that's when I moved to Atlanta.
Okay.
And
Officially.
Not
just visiting and going back to the no.
She moved
right.
herself.
No, I
came over.
moved. Yeah, and so I transferred to a school here, and then I really was like, I want to just network. Like, I'm here for school, but like I'm
None of that hug.
right. Like I want to figure out how to make this work in the music industry out here. And so I was networking heavy. I was in every session I could get into. As a songwriter was like kind of my into the door in a lot of scenarios. And so that was my life. It was very fast paced. And I was at the time trying to balance school still. And but really I just wanted to be doing, my creativity full time. But I also really love school and I really love learning. So there was a lot of just kind of like war in my mind, and it was spiritual warfare. And at the time, I didn't have the tools to preserve myself within it, and to like really not lean on my own understanding, because I really didn't know anything, and I was really just like suffering through this process of trying to figure out myself, like trying to figure out a new city that I loved, right? Like I love Atlanta, but like it was just so hard for me at the time. And I was also in a space of like thinking like that maybe I was wrong about myself, right? And maybe like I like was wrong about like my talents or my calling or what I'm good at, or because nothing was flowing. It was just very like just hard. And I was really in a very bad space with my mental health. I was like really battling like suicidal ideation. I was like severely depressed, like really struggled to even like take care of myself. It got to a really bad point. I was really fighting through it though. And in 2020, because here's the thing about my faith journey is that I've never like completely just like left God out of it.
Right.
But I also wasn't submitted for like a while. Right. And for a while it was probably like 5 years where I was just kind of like, like I'm just gonna, have fun.
Freestyle.
Right. And just see how it goes. And it got to a place where it was just not sustainable anymore. And I had a therapist ask me, because I was really heavy in therapy, still dealing with the trauma of the relationship that I had gotten out of, different family things that had happened within the last couple of years that really just rocked me and rocked everything that I thought I knew about the world, about myself, about the people around me. It was really rough. It was, so I always kind of kept my Bible there, and I would read it kind of sporadically.
The same little one from
No.
Okay.
No. But actually,
you still got it?
So not my baby Bible, but when I moved to New York to do The Lion King, my mom bought me a Bible. It's this pink and black leather-bound Bible that she bought me as like a gift, right? And so it was that Bible that I got when I was 9, but not the initial baby Bible, but anyway,
see?
No,
Y'all laughing.
I am a keepsakes kind of person. Like that means a lot to me, and she, wrote a note for me in it. But so that Bible. But I would read it sporadically. I really, I was also like dabbling in like new age stuff. I was very ignorant about like.
When you say new age stuff, what is that?
Like sage, stuff like that.
Tarot cards.
No, never tarot cards. Like it was like sage crystals. Like I just really didn't understand what it was, and I was kind of going more off of what like social media was telling me about it at the time, and I was just suffering. Like I needed healing, and I was like I'll try wherever I can get it from, right? But I would do this thing where I would still be thinking about God, right? And I'm like, okay, like I'm meditating on God, right? But like using these things that like really I have come to learn, right, are not of God in the way that like our culture has been teaching us to use them. And ultimately I realized that like that was a part of what kept bringing more chaos into my life, was my lack of faith. Right. I was kind of the poster girl for like the TikTok trend of like, she knew of God, but she knows God. Like I was that girl that like knew of God, but didn't know God. I wasn't in relationship with God, or Jesus Christ at the time. And I also had so many voices around me that I could not discern God's voice anymore. And I was in a very destructive place. And like I said, like trying to lean on my own understanding and was wrong, like a lot, you know? And so then it got to the point in 2021 where a therapist asked me, who are you outside of what you do? And I didn't have an answer to her question because I had been in entertainment my whole life. Right. And I did not know at the time what my identity was outside of like my elevator pitch of like who I am as an artist, what genres I write in, like what you know what I'm saying, my resume, like, and that kind of rocked my world, that question. And so I went and really kind of had to humble myself and be like, I need to go back home to Fayetteville. Right. And that was really tough for me because I was like, no, like, I was really in a lot of pride at that time. Like, I was like, no, I'm going to just bulldoze my way through it. Like, I'm going to make it work. But it wasn't working. Right. And I had to humble myself. I needed to go back home. And I did. And I at that point, I was like, okay, God, if I cannot have peace in this industry, take it from me. I don't want it. Like whatever you want from me is what I want from me. And if I was wrong about this being what you want from me or for me, like take it. Like I don't want it.
Is that when you went back home when he took that away from you?
So I would say that I thought that like, I think my interpretation of like what was happening at the time was maybe a little different than how it actually ended up playing out, right? Okay. Because naturally, like I'm here right now, but I think that I did need to submit fully to God because I hadn't been.
My God.
And that was for me. I was like, God, I give up. Like that was my moment where I was just kind of like literally like on my knees, like crying, like weeping, like please just restore me, renew me. I can't do this without you. I can't live without you. Forget about the entertainment of it, right? I can't live without you. And so I gave it up. I was like, if that means I don't need to write anymore, I don't need to be here anymore. If I need to go home, I'll go home. So I went home. And my dad always said to me, pursue your dreams for as long as they're in you, because regular life will always be here waiting for you, right? And so so that was my moment where I was like, let me try this out, right? I've given up the dream. Okay. Let me see what else God has for me, right? Because I was wrong. I was wrong about my dream, right? Right. Even though God had given me visions my whole life, about where he needed me, right, and where he would use me, I was like, I guess I'm wrong. And like I said, I had been exposed to so many voices that I just couldn't even. I was struggling to hear God's voice clearly, right? Mm-hmm. So I got my real estate license. And I was like, okay, like I'm a realtor, you know, still have my license, right? But I was a realtor for about a year, and I talked to my dad, and he's the person I go to when I need to talk about my dreams, right? My dad is also a dreamer, and has really been motivational to me over the years in that aspect. And I said to him, Dad, like I'm finally in a place I'm good, like I'm stable, like I'm like emotionally cool. Like I'm sleeping through the night. Like I don't like, I want to be here now. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm the most lost I've ever been, even within that. Right. Mm-hmm. And he told me, he said, you know, I always thought that you stopped doing music too abruptly. I know that you have to go on your journey, but you have been performing for like most of your life. Nobody does what you have done for so long if they don't really love it. And you're not someone who can live a life that you don't love, right? And he's right about that. I'm like a deeply like zest filled, like I love life person. And so I was like, wow, like maybe I need to start doing music again. And I was praying to God about it. And that time, like I was very much like, you know, very quiet. I wasn't listening to any music. I was so scarred. Like I didn't listen to music for like probably a year and a half. I didn't even sing to myself. Like I was done. Like I was like, I'm done.
I got a question. I want to ask you this because I've been itching to ask this.
What's up?
So you had very dream supporting, very emotional supporting, very like you had dope parents.
Yeah, definitely.
Chased your dream.
Yeah.
And how did you find yourself in such an emotionally abusive situation? Because I know a lot of times people who don't necessarily have support from parents, they look for it in other people, and that's when said person can take advantage emotionally, mentally, physically of a person. But it was kind of opposite for you because you had the support, like the OD support.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
you on Broadway,
you're
doing your thing. How'd you, if you don't mind talking about it, if you cool with it, you know what I'm saying? But how'd you find yourself in that particular type of relationship?
That's a really good question. And something that I over the years was like kicking myself about, but I've like figured out how to reconcile with that, and that I was just like young and also struggling at that time. So So honestly, a close family member died by suicide my freshman year at NYU. And it rocked me. Like it rocked me. And I didn't know how to cope with it. And I started using the wrong things to cope with it. Like alcohol, right? I was smoking a lot of weed, and I was like trying to figure out like where I could get it for free. You know what I'm saying? Like just going, and I was in college. It was like around, you know what I'm saying? Like I just was, you know, just vibing and just trying to kind of numb pain and numb thoughts that kind of started to jump on me that I had never had before. Right? Like suicide was never something I ever thought about until like that year, right? And then it just like kind of like just rocked everything I thought I knew, everything I thought I felt. So I ended up, this individual that I ended up in a relationship with, I ended up finding kind of community like in him.
Wow.
Because he was also kind of like struggling with some things, and it was like, oh yeah, like we can just too. Exactly. And then it became deeply kind of
trauma bonding, right? They call it trauma bonding.
And so it became like a situation where I didn't even know that, like, I didn't even know about the word like gaslight, right? I didn't know about like, and I also thought I was invincible at the time. Like, this couldn't happen to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never thought that I would ever be in a position like I ended up in. But I think that, right, because that's the thing. It's like, yeah, all this like amazing stuff is happening externally, right? And it's like, that's great. And like real life be happening, right? It's like there's things that like happened along the journey that rocked me. Yeah. Like with any human, right? And I just instead of like falling into the arms of God to cope, I fell into the arms of this individual who ended up just damaging me like really bad, psychologically. And so that's how that happened.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. I just wanted to know. I was just, you know. Yeah. All right, well, we're going to run off into a break. We got more with Lee Vasi when we get back. It's the Fresh Leftovers Radio Show.
Gotta keep going until I can cross the finish line. Everybody eat at the table just like it's dinner time. It hurt me down in my stomach to see my father cry. I lost my uncle, my dad, to see his brother die. The Lord gon' heal all my family and they broken hearts. 2-time felon, it's hard for me to go get a job. Entrepreneur with music and it's gon' take me far. Whoever knew I could do it and now I'll be a star. You better not hold no grudge and keep your loved ones close, cause no one ever knows the time of day that they gon' go. Relationships ain't perfect, they get high and it ain't low. It ain't no argument that's worth it when they die, it ain't no more. Grandma hug and kiss on me just one more time. Come tell a joke for me just one more time. Can we just make history just one more time? Lots of folks I love is like the sun don't shine, but I gotta keep going and I gotta keep moving. They tryna tell me to go to therapy, I do it in music. Always giving out a chance, ain't my fault if you blew it. Don't talk about another man or about what he doing. I talked to God today, he answer right away. I like to find a thing. First of all, y'all know me, I ain't going out without a bang. Mama, I'm a step or walk by faith, no, I ain't afraid of bang. Talk about the Lord everywhere I go, no, I am not ashamed.
Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your man, Legacy the Prince.
Your boy DJ Before You Are.
Yes, sir. It's the Fresh Leftovers Radio Show. FlowRadioShow.com. You know the vibes. We live and certified, man. We got our special guest still kicking it with us. Lee Vasi in the building, y'all.
Hi.
Hey, dropping a dope testimony on us, taking us on the journey. You know what I'm
This
saying?
journey crazy.
Nah, it's dope. It's dope. It's
you're
fly.
not wrong.
It's fly. It's definitely
crazy.
dope. It's dope. So, just want to jump in on the music tip, man.
Yeah, tell us about this song, man.
Yeah, Presence.
Sure, yes. So Presence is my new single.
Okay.
So after all of that, I'm back in music,
Uh-huh.
right? Period, yes.
So, at what moment did you was like, yo, because I know you said you spoke to your pops.
Uh-huh.
Pops was like, yo, I think you gave up music a little bit too soon.
Yeah.
When did it click to say like, all right, bet I'm gonna go ahead and
I'ma
jump
go
back
for
into
it?
yeah.
So a lot of talks with God about it, right? Because I had gotten to a place where I was good and I didn't want to be rattled like I had been in the past. And that had really gotten to the point of like my experience, like in the secular space. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I heard my dad and I was like, you right. But I had this hesitance and like this fear, but I also knew that was Satan trying to give me fear because that does not come from God. Right. Yeah. And so, I just kind of started slowly getting back into it, like in my own like room. Like I would like write to like YouTube beats and, you know, but it never kind of like, I never got like kind of like into it. Right. And I was like, maybe I need to move back to Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
And that was just kind of like a seed thought. Right. And then a couple months go by and I ended up, I was looking for an opportunity to move. Right. My lease was coming up and, I said to God, I was like, God, like, show me where you need me to go, like where you want me to be to do what you need to do through me. Right. And I was very consistent in that prayer for probably about like 3 months. And cause I was really just kind of like vibing, you know, but I was like, I want to stay in this healthy space.
Right.
Where I'm at mentally and emotionally and physically. And so literally this time last year, I got an opportunity I got a job opportunity here in Atlanta. And I was like, wow, God, like, we're really finna move back? Like, no way, right? And it was this time last year. Okay. And the night before I moved back, I was like laying in my bed, just like crying out of gratitude. And I was like, wow, like you really did it. Like, cause like I said, I love Atlanta and I just didn't know how I was going to get back or if I was meant to get back. And I was willing to go with whatever the journey was supposed to be for me. Right. And so I was just crying out of gratitude. And I asked God, I said, God, what do you have for me? Like when I moved back to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, that's actually a really selfish question. Like my bad. Like, what do you need from me when I move back to Atlanta?
That's good.
And so loudly on the left side of my face, on my ear, I heard God's voice say music. And I was like, no. Right, like I was like, for real, like you were there, like no way.
She's not trying to go back.
I can't go back, you know. But I was like, okay, heard you, you know. And then when I moved back, everything just kind of started to flow like it hadn't really before. And I was seeing, because also a large part of my prayer life at that time was for clarity, just whatever it is, just make it really clear. Right.
Absolutely.
No confusion, like no voices. If it's not for me, just make it clear. If it's for me, make it clear, please. And music just like has become easy this time for me. Right. But what happened was, so I was writing, right. But I was just kind of like writing for myself.
Okay. This
year. And then I had no plans of like when I would release anything or when I would, you know, get back into it for real. And I had like a health scare, right? Where, I was getting MRIs and like all kind of stuff to figure out like what was going on with me. Praise God, it just turned out to be vitamin deficiencies, right? But at the time, so I got my vitamins, I'm good now. But
you gotta eat them Flintstones,
right? But so at the time, I was really sitting there like contemplating like, mortality, right? In a way that I had never really before. And I was like, yo, like one day I'm going to have to look at God and tell him why I didn't do what he told me to do.
That's real.
Which is music. And I heard him clearly, like I had been asking for clarity.
That's tough.
Oh my gosh.
So,
this is so sobering.
So I made plans to start releasing this music that really started just from a place of me writing to God, from me to God.
Yeah.
And because I'm not a pastor, right? Like I'm just a Christian on this journey, and I've been having a lot of talks with God. So
Sure.
A lot of my music comes from that place of like literally me just sitting down and talking to God. And so I released My Bad. And I had zero expectations, like at all, right? I'm like, God, do with it what you need to be done with it, right? And it was received really well. God blew my mind with the response to My Bad. I hadn't released a song in 3 years. And I was barely on social media. Like I was like gone. And then I came back with this song and people were listening to it and liking it. And I was like, wow, like, okay, thanks God. Like, let's keep going. So we released the Spanish version of it, of My Bad, Culpa Mía. And then most recently I released Presents, which we are here to talk about today.
Hey, Presents.
I like that. You said My Bad, Cuprianos?
Culpa Mía. Culpa Mía. Culpa Mía.
Culpa Mía.
Don't roll the
tongue.
No,
all right, man. Presents. What that mean, by the way? My Bad.
Culpa Mía is like my bad in Spanish.
Oh, okay,
okay. Like technically like my fault.
First of all, don't look at me like that because you don't even know what it means.
She said it was in Spanish.
She just said what she said at first, and then she said she released it in Spanish.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was.
Presents. Right. Yeah. So what was the inspiration behind?
She was definitely his present.
So the inspiration behind Presents was literally everything that I just told y'all about, right?
Okay.
Like living this like just wildly destructive and like difficult and sad life. Mm-hmm. When I was not operating in the seeking of his presence, right? And so God has taken me on this journey to where like I don't want to do anything or be in anything if he's not in it. And I completely acknowledge that I need him to sustain me, to provide for me, to protect me. And so the song is just about really acknowledging his presence and how much I need it, how much I love it. How much I love him being around.
Wow. So with a very saturated, Christian R&B Z type of world, right? Mm-hmm. What allows you and your artistry to like stand out from everyone else?
I don't really know, except like this is just my conversations with God, right? I think everybody's doing really dope stuff. Mm-hmm. I think that everybody's really unique in their own way and bringing their own kind of sauce to it. But for me, what's unique is just my perspective. Like it's my real life, just conversations that I sit down and I talk to God about. And I'm very vulnerable. As you can see, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm really don't have any fear of telling my real truth and my real lived journey as a Christian woman. So, yeah.
I'm curious of some of the comments and things you got back. You said you got some, when you released that song after 3 years, you got some encouraging things or feedback. What are some of those things that you received?
So I've gotten a lot of people saying things like, yes, like God knew I needed this, or this is exactly what the kind of music I was looking for, or, just people talking about how relatable it is, and really just like everyone's been so nice to me, like I'm like really just so nice, and it's been so heartwarming and really encouraging. You know what I get a lot too?
What's that?
Is people like will DM me like keep going. And I'm like, wow, like I get it all the time. Yeah. And I'm like, y'all are so nice. Like, thank you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what do y'all see that like y'all see that like that really does help me? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I keep going a lot, and I love it. I see it, and I always just like smile so big because I'm like, they said it again. I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah. So you gonna sing this song?
Yeah. Yeah. What's up? What y'all want me to sing? Presents?
I mean, you can. It's up to you. It's up to you.
Mighty King or something. What's the name?
I just can't wait to be king.
bring it back a little bit.
Oh man. All right, cool. So we want to go on break, set that up?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, cool. We're gonna go on break real quick. And we're gonna get a live performance. We're gonna get a live performance from Lee Vasi when we come back. All right.
Yes.
All right, so look, Flo, y'all keep it locked. We'll be right back.
We try to keep
A lot of folks crashing on pillars and blankets. Really don't know what they thinking. They clowning like Ronald, ain't talking about Reagan. Got your head with the helmet of salvation. Homie, I'm trying to wake up a nation. They plugged into the world like it's Matrix. And we gotta get back to the basics. Switch with the flow. Check out the cake and shit. They taking naps in the class while I'm giving out facts. They get slapped in the back of their head. Ain't no need to repeat cause you heard what I said. I sent them a message, they living on red. Why by the spirit, I gotta be led. They not discerning the blood and the bread. Ain't no wonder they wanting the bed, they sleep. On point, I ain't never off beat. I told them speed up and they dragging their feet. I tell the truth, now they sucking their teeth. They grab the rug and they sweep underneath. All the mess they been doing, he already seen it. They said, Lord, forgive me, but they didn't mean it. I try to teach them they A's and B's, but they got obsessed with disease. They sleep, sleep, sleep.
Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your man, Legacy the Prince.
Boy, DJ before you are.
Yes, sir. It's the Fresh Leftovers Radio Show, flowradioshow.com. Look, man, we got the vibes in here real nice. We done cut the lights off. Y'all can see me, right? I'm a little chocolatey. Y'all can see me?
Boy.
All right, cool.
Darkness, everybody.
Yo, man, Lee Vasi still in the building with us, kicking it. Hey. She said she got some vocals for us. She gonna drop. Yeah. This is Presidents. What is wrong with me tonight? Presents.
He's trying to roll the tongue, bro. I think he
right.
He can speak a little bit Espanol.
Drop. You crazy. All right, Lee, it's on you.
All right. So this is my new single, Presents. I'm just give y'all a little piece of it.
Yeah.
Here we go. I don't wanna know who I would be if I ain't have you to clean up my messes. I thought I couldn't be me if I followed you, but I was missing the message, falling in line with the masses, looking for freedom in all the wrong places and ended up blocking my own blessings. With me, it always makes me feel bad. Every time I know you should be mad, but you be so patient with me. That's why I need your presence. Oh, I need your presence. Oh.
Wow. That was amazing.
Yeah. Tough. Just a little snippet. Y'all gotta go online and get the whole joint. You know what I'm saying?
Did you ever take vocal lessons?
I did a little bit. Yeah, a little bit when I was younger.
That's tough. You have a very, very seasoned voice.
Oh, thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Some people still be trying to figure out their vibes. Like you could tell you've been in the entertainment singing world for a while.
Well, the vocal control is dope. That's
Absolutely.
what I was. It was so smooth, bro.
Wow, y'all so nice. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Keep going.
The truth, baby girl.
Keep going.
Keep going, girl.
So listen, we gonna land this whole situation, but I have a question for you, right?
Yeah.
The Truth, one of my favorite Christian hip hop artists, he said, if the Bible was rewritten and the writers put us in it, I wonder how my life would read, right? If they wrote a chapter or a book about Lee, what do you want it to say?
Oh, wow. That'd be a long chapter.
Or a book,
Full of twists and turns.
200 pages later.
What would I want it to say about me, you said? Or
yeah, like how would you want that book to be an inspiration to people? Like what would it say?
Wow. Oh, that's such a good question. I would say that what I would want people to most just glean from it, is that God's love is sufficient, is never ending, and that like it's okay for you to have to learn that, right? And it's okay to not always be perfect, even though that's what some might expect from you, and that God sees you. God sees you. And God never stopped seeing you because he created you and he loves you so much. And don't give up on God because he won't give up on you.
Wow. That's amazing.
One more for me. Really good. What would you say to a girl growing up or going through some of the same things you went through?
Mm-hmm.
How would you encourage them to push through, come out of what you did?
I would encourage them to not rush their healing process, but that it is also not necessary to become a participant in the things that are hurting you within that process, and that learning is a good thing, accountability is a good thing, and like you're gonna be all right. It's not gonna last forever, because you do still have free will.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
You do still have a choice in it, and you can still choose yourself. Right. Through God, with God.
Man, that's amazing. That's amazing. All right, Lee. All right. Cause I got a whole bunch of more questions. I'm like, I gotta get you up out of here. Part 2 when you come back with the next single.
Yes.
Or album.
Yeah. What's coming up next for Lee? Talk to us.
Y'all know what? I'm gonna just be very real with y'all. I would love for just anybody to kind of like hit me up, let me know what y'all want from me next, right? Because there is a project. If y'all want a project, there are singles if y'all just want some songs. So I'm really in a place where I both feel like, like I just talked about my whole years long journey in this space, but in this entertainment space, but I also just feel like a baby right now because I feel like know that I am a new creation and I am creating new Lee. Okay. Right. And so I'm really just kind of open to really let this be a collaborative process with the people who are listening, because I'm going to keep going.
I feel you. I love it.
Do you do, are you collabing right now? Or you just...
I'm working on some things. Yeah.
I got somebody who you should collab with.
Ooh.
She got a Lee in her name too?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Let's go.
I love it. So listen, let them know where they can follow you on all the social media platforms, where they can grab the single, all that good stuff.
Yes. So I am at Lee Vasi, LeeLeeVasi on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all of the things. I'm everywhere. And you can stream my music everywhere that you can stream music, but run over to Spotify if you would like, because I personally love Spotify. So you can stream it everywhere though. And hit me up, DM me. I love to see what y'all have to say.
Gotcha. Look, man, Flow Mafia, y'all know the vibes, man. Yo, tap in with Lee Vasi, man. Yeah. Follow her, run the charts up, run the numbers up, man. For real. Hit her up and let her know what you want from her next. Yeah. Or what does God want from you next?
Ooh. Ooh. That part. God. Period.
Come on now. I'll take us in the veil. Don't do it.
Let's go. Come on with it.
You see the hand? Yeah, man. So listen, man, y'all show Lee Vasi some of that Flow Mafia love, man. You know how we do it. We live and certified. FlowRadioShow.com. Y'all tap in. Did you enjoy yourself?
I had a blast.
For real?
Yeah. Did y'all? Did you have fun?
Oh man, we here every week. It be wild. We see Hannah Montana one moment, then it's Neo, then it's it was a lot of fun behind the scenes.
Right.
It was.
It's always interesting to get to know people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In the spaces, you get to see the because you're so transparent, you get to see like the ins and outs, and people can actually look at this or hear this and apply some of the things that you did to your life. That's why I asked the question too, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of young women out there who may be going through, or who, going through it.
Yeah.
Whatever. And they can hear these words and be encouraged. You know what I'm saying?
The end of it.
Yeah.
I pray so.
And it's still more to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So listen, anytime you got anything going on, the door is wide open. Pull up. You know what I'm saying? And we mean it. Pull up. You feel me?
If you don't pull up, we're going to hold you accountable.
Right.
Yeah. All right, man. Flow Mafia. It's been real. We holla at y'all next week. Peace.
Drop that.